What's up, friends? Welcome to Web3 Academy, a place for entrepreneurs, creators, and marketers to explore and learn how to use Web3 to transform business models and create thriving communities. Enjoy this next episode. GM, welcome back, friends, to another episode of the Web3 Academy podcast. Today is a big day. I'm excited to share what I have to share with you on this podcast. The community is launching a token. We have launched a DAO called Web3 Academy DAO. We have launched a token called the DOER token, and I'm about to explain what this means. It has been a whirlwind the last few weeks, maybe even a little bit more, over a month now, getting all this started, and it has been so much fun. And so I'm going to break down what's happened, what we're doing here, and how you can get involved or how you can benefit from this DAO and from this token that we are launching. I can tell you there's no better time to get involved, no better time to be experimenting and learning. We've talked a lot about that briefly on the podcast of just the opportunity here in Web3. And we are trying to, get involved as much as we can, learn and experience as much as we can. And this DAO is really the best way to do that. And a big thanks, before I get into this, a big thanks to the community members of Web3 Academy for really pushing this forward. This is not a Web3 Academy thing. This is a community thing that spun out of the community that was built from this podcast and from the newsletter. It's just been amazing to see so many people step up and push this thing forward. So thank you to the community from the bottom of my heart for doing this. It has been so much fun, and I'm really, really excited to see where we can take this. So let's just get started inside. And I guess before we do, if you're listening to this and you're interested in, after you hear all this, if you're interested in joining the DAO, you can do so easily. Just join our Discord. The link is in the show notes below. There's a bit of an onboarding experience where you can choose your interests and pick your roles and kind of see what's all going on. We've just recently redone it, so hopefully it's good enough and intuitive enough for you. If not, just jump into the DAO chat. You'll see it in one of the channels on the side there. Or really, you can message in any, and someone in the group will help you and find a good spot for you. But do let us know how that goes. So make sure you join in on the Discord, and let's get started. And if you're not really completely sure about what Web3 is or where this is going, you can also check out our free Web3 rabbit hole course, which is also in the show notes below. Free course, get you up to speed on everything Web3, and then there's some details in there to get involved in the DAO as well. So Web3 Academy doers, let's get into it. What's happening? Well, we're starting a company with a bunch of strangers. Seriously, that's basically what's happening. The Web3 Academy community is tokenizing to become a DAO aimed at building resources, products, and services to support the wave of entrepreneurs, businesses, and creators moving into Web3 over the coming decade. Okay, there is going to be a mass amount of people entering this space who want to build in this space, just like what happened with the internet. Right? In the last 20 whatever years, there have been millions of businesses built on top of the internet, millions of new ideas and new creative ways. I mean, influencers became a thing that didn't exist before, creators, designers, etc. All of this, and they all use the internet, and they all use tools for that to happen, right? Different applications, different whatever it is that they're using. Well, the same is about to happen here in Web3. People that want to come in and launch NFTs or build communities or launch tokens, right? Or do anything in Web3, they need tools. And right now, a lot of people don't know what they're doing, right? They don't know how to find these tools. They don't know even what they can do to start their businesses. And that's the aim of this DAO, is to start to build tools and to build resources to help these people come in and build really cool shit. Okay. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see we've got our logo up. We have our Web3 Academy logo. Beside it, we have the new Web3 Academy DAO logo, which is really cool. The O in the DAO is sort of this really cool design. It looks almost like a cube with some design in it. That cube is actually the letters D, O, E, and R. So really cool design there. I think it was Wanzi who created that. So thank you for that design. It's super, super cool. But I must say, the past few weeks launching this DAO have already been one of the greatest learning experiences in my career as an entrepreneur. Just like Web3 and crypto, you don't truly understand it until you experience it. That's exactly what we wanted to do with Web3 Academy, help the community experience Web3. And so launching Web3 Academy DAO is accomplishing just that. If you're reading this and have yet to be part of a DAO, this is your opportunity. And it's your opportunity with some really awesome people, I might add. So you might be asking, why launch a token, right? The DAO doesn't have any revenue, utility, or value. Why does it need a token? Why are we building a DAO? We had a community already. What's the point? Well, the answer is this. This token will act as a tool to organize the community, as well as a point system to reward those who contribute to this community, right? So while the tokens will be valueless for the foreseeable future, and what that means by valueless is we are not providing any liquidity to that token on any exchanges like Uniswap or any open markets, okay? So what that means is when there is no liquidity, you can't buy or sell it on open markets, which means it doesn't have a fair value. Once you provide liquidity, then on the open markets, it can create a value. Right now, it does not have that. So instead, this token can be thought of as future ownership and governance of this DAO, the Web3 Academy DAO, and any of the assets that it creates. Now, the goal, of course, is to create revenue streams to the DAO, as well as create various utility to the token prior to providing its liquidity on open markets. And the reason we're doing this is, one, it allows us to just bootstrap a company, right? How else are we going to get all this liquidity? We would need funding, we would need investment. And you know what? We don't want to do that right now. We just want to start building. But also this removes the speculative nature of the token and allows it to just function solely as an organization and utility tool within the Web3 Academy ecosystem. We believe this is the best way to create long-term sustainability for the DAO and its token. Okay, I'm going to talk more on the token in a minute. First, I want to get into the details of this DAO. But one thing I think I want everyone to understand is this isn't normal, okay? There are not a lot of examples of companies that started by launching a random token that had no value, distributing it amongst a community, and then trying to create value to that token and then provide liquidity. This is very new. Just like one of the quotes we say at Web3 Academy is, we are on the forefront of Web3 innovation. We are experimenting here with a new way to form a business, a new way to form a DAO. And luckily, the DAO enables us to do this, and this token enables us to do this. Okay, so this is very new. It is very much on the forefront of building businesses. So it is really, really cool, but we don't know how it's going to work. So it also means we're going to be very agile. We're going to be adaptable, and we need to see where things go. But we think it's a great start. And so in this article, we're going to break down a few of the details. So one, who is Web3 Academy? Who is Web3 Academy DAO? What is the roadmap of this DAO? What is the distribution and the tokenomics of the new Web3 Academy DAO token, which is called DOER? And then a little bit about the organization of this DAO, which has been a wild ride. We'll dive into that. So who's Web3 Academy? Well, that's us. That's me. That's Jay. This is the team that you guys already know. You know, you're reading our newsletter or you're listening to our podcast. We are Web3 Academy. Web3 Academy is simply an education and media engine aimed at guiding entrepreneurs, businesses, and creators into Web3. Okay. So then who is Web3 Academy DAO? Well, Web3 Academy DAO is a new tokenized community which formed out of the Web3 Academy Discord community in July of 2022. Okay. The DAO aims to further the mission of Web3 Academy by creating resources, products, and services to better support the wave of entrepreneurs, businesses, and creators moving into Web3 over the coming decades. So while Web3 Academy is aiming just to teach and be a media platform, the DAO is aimed at actually building things, creating things, okay? And so Web3 Academy DAO is a decentralized organization with its own native currency and governance token called DOER, okay? And just a clarification here, Web3 Academy and Web3 Academy DAO are separate entities which work together to achieve a shared mission. Web3 Academy has no control over the direction or the finances of the DAO, other than through the governance tokens that members of Web3 Academy, like Jay and myself and our team, may hold personally, right? And on the other side of it, Web3 Academy DAO has no control over the direction or the finances of Web3 Academy, which means for those in the DAO, Jay and I, although we are the founders of Web3 Academy, we are not the founders of Web3 Academy DAO. So we are not the ones who make decisions. We are just contributors, just like you and anyone else that is in the DAO right now. We hope to contribute as much and as well as all of you do. but we will just do our best. But nothing needs to be put by us. We are not in control of this DAO. This thing is running on its own. It wasn't even us really who started. It was actually members of the community, thanks to Tim, who really was the first person to really jump in and kind of get this started. And so I would say he has more say in this DAO than Jay or myself. So let's talk a little bit about the Web3 Academy DAO roadmap. So like any new company, the roadmap is definitely not set in stone, okay? We will remain flexible and adaptable to the fast-moving industry of Web3. As mentioned above, the focus is to create these resources, products, and services to help support the wave of entrepreneurs, businesses, and creators entering Web3. Now, one of the best things about a DAO is it can act as a talent pool to incubate and support any business idea which aligns with the mission. So talent pools are made available through something called guilds, okay? You can think of a guild like a department in a company, okay? So we already have a marketing guild, we have a developer guild, we have a community guild, and these are just a group of marketers in the marketing guild, a group of developers in the developer guild, and so on and so forth, right? And they kind of support each other and help each other learn, and they're sort of a pool trying to bring in more talent and grow and learn together. And then we can utilize those people, those talent pools to work and build products. So any entrepreneur or DAO member with an idea can tap into these guilds. All you have to do is write a proposal, or simply, I mean, at this point, we're not organized enough where we even have proposals, but hopefully in the near future we will. But simply right now, you can just discuss it in the Discord, and you can receive support in form of labor, right? If you need logos and images and content or writing or whatever, if you need consultation on ideas and how you're going to strategize this, if you need funding. Now, we don't necessarily have a ton of funding right now, but that will come. And so there's many ways that we can support you on your whatever your entrepreneurial journey is, right? And it can be part of or powered by the Web3 Academy DAO. So at Web3 Academy DAO, we embrace an entrepreneurial mindset and strive to incubate many new projects from within. Okay. So do you have a Web3 idea that you need support with? Well, just join in the DAO and reach out, right? Why do you want to do this idea alone when you can do it with the support of an amazing community with vast experiences, vast skill sets, and talent, right? That's really the idea here of a DAO, is you can do so much all at once because there's so many people, all incentivized, all involved, and all geared towards the same mission. Okay. Can't really do that in typical startups. So let's get into some of the details of the current projects which are underway in the Web3 Academy DAO. So the DAO is currently focused on various projects, but two in particular. One is building a proprietary tool for the Web3 ecosystem, and we're calling this Web3pedia. This is just the first idea we had in that we're already kind of striving towards and building. And Web3pedia is a community-run database indexing almost every live tool across the Web3 ecosystem, allowing you to easily discover, rate, and review the best tools to build and create in Web3. So I talked about this for a second at the beginning of this episode, but this tool is really like a Yelp, you could think of, or a, I would say a Yelp or like an app store almost, but without actually hosting the apps. But it's a way for entrepreneurs or creators to find the tools they need across this ecosystem. So if you're looking for an NFT tool to design your NFTs or to mint your NFTs, and you want it specifically on Near protocol, right, the Near blockchain, then you can just basically search by those functions and it pulls it up for you. So that's what we're in the process of building out right now. We think this can be a very useful tool for everyone in this space. And there will be reviews and ratings so we can see, like, is this stuff actually reputable or not, and so on and so forth. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see a sneak peek of the design from our DAO member, Schnablet. Thank you so much. We did some work together just the other day building out this design. It looks awesome. It's going to be a really cool UX to help you locate your tools. But great job, Schnablet, on the design. So that's number one. If you want to help or be a part of that, you can just join in the Discord, and there's a project channel for that, and you can get involved, no problem. Number two is around creating the best community learning experiences in Web3. And so right now that consists of sandbox sessions. So this is something we do live in the Discord every Thursday, where people who have ideas and they're just not quite sure how to action those ideas yet, we basically get the group to join in on a call together, and we're going to brainstorm and almost write out a plan with you and support you on building that, and then see if there's a place for it to be built inside the DAO. We can actually help. We have community calls where we talk about the DAO. We have community calls where we just talk about things that we've been discussing here on the podcast. Those are typically on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then we just have tons of discussions inside the Discord. Now, this will move into more areas, potentially courses and training and newsletters and things like that. But we wanted to start it with learning inside the community. But there's a lot that will come from that. So again, if you are, you just want to learn about Web3, or you want to get involved really deeper into this community side of thing and really start to network and bounce ideas off each other, just again, join the Discord and you'll see a bunch of these opportunities. If you click events in the top left of the Discord, you'll see them all. There's a bunch every single week. So these are just 2 projects currently working on with the DAO. However, the community is encouraged to propose or launch new and additional projects as they see fit. Some of the other ideas we've already discussed, and in some cases are already working on. But there's creating a Web3 agency, whether that's for marketing, for smart contract development, and so on and so forth. We have a big talent pool again, so we can start to help projects build, whether that's websites or marketing or growth or whatever. There's consulting with Web3 projects, creating newsletters across various domains in Web3. So we've already discussed potentially creating a developer newsletter. We could do things on marketing, community, so on and so forth. Creating paid and free resources, whether this is frameworks, playbooks, educational courses. There's lots of opportunity to educate in this space. Developing our own tools and protocols. We're already starting one, but there's so much more we could build, and I'm sure we will in the future. There's also the idea of getting into sort of VC and funding. Once we do provide liquidity to our token, we will have a treasury. And we'll also start to generate revenue from our products and courses and things that we're going to do. And so we can start to give back to the community and invest in projects, invest in entrepreneurs and creators. That's really the incubation part that I keep discussing of this DAO. We can help in the sense of actual labor in terms of helping you build your site and brainstorm, et cetera. But soon we will be able to help in terms of financial investment. And that I think will be really cool. So in terms of how do we go from a valueless token to a valuable token, I know this is on the minds of many people, and I'm going to get more into the tokens in, I think it's the next section, but I just want to quickly go over this roadmap here. And we have this nice infographic that was made by our member, Atfil, I believe is how you pronounce it, inside Discord. You'll notice as I call out everyone's names here, no one really uses their own names in Discord, I guess. Maybe that is their own name, actually, to be honest. I'm not sure. But it's usually random. Maybe it's last name, it's a nickname or something completely different. That's just how Discord kind of works. So if we're looking at this roadmap here, we have first in July, which is phase 1, which is really just to finalize the core team and launch this token, which we have done. And I'm going to go over in just a second. Second phase, which is coming up here in August, which is to activate the community to start contributing and distribute the DOER tokens to contributors. So we've already activated, people are contributing on all cylinders, and we will do our first, we're not exactly sure how we will do this, some sort of combination of minting POAPs for different roles and then airdropping tokens to those who filled certain roles. And so that will happen, our first one in August, and then it will happen every month after that. And we will probably experiment with different ways to distribute, trying to find the most fair ways to make sure tokens get in the hands of everyone who's contributing across our DAO, which right now, I think we're at numbers of over 60 people inside this DAO. We have over 700 in the Discord, so in the community, but actually 60 contributors. So really, really cool to see that. We haven't even given out a token yet. So that's cool. The next phase is to launch governance of the DAO and treasury via token holders and delegators. So this is something that Tim and Rather and a few others are working on, is how do we actually start to govern this DAO and make decisions? Now, keep a note here, in a DAO, we do not want to use like total token votes for every decision in the DAO. That's not how DAOs work, although that's a common misconception. This is governance for the big decisions, the big directions of the DAO, the financial movements, things like that. But for what is the logo or what is the color of this or most things in a DAO, it's just, you just go, you run with it, you decide with your crew, whether that's your guild or your project team, and you just go. You don't need to get a vote for everything. So I just hope all members do understand that. Next up is we will token gate the DAO based on number of DOER tokens held. So this starts to provide utility to the token before we even provide liquidity. And so in order to contribute and be a part of the DAO and actually receive more tokens, you need to hold a certain amount of these DOER tokens. And so this is something you want to build in, one, to make sure that our DAO remains kind of exclusive. And if you have just anyone joining at any time, the bigger you get, this is just going to get insane. And so you need to start to gate it. And what you do is you allow people to earn their way into the DAO. So by doing projects, right, where they can earn some tokens, and once they accumulate enough, they can now actually be involved. Or they can also purchase tokens. Now, they won't be able to do that yet until we do provide liquidity, but that is just one way of creating some buy and hold pressure on the DOER token itself. Then side by side here, but if we're talking phase 5, it's to create revenue streams, an additional utility to the DOER token. So building these products and the resources and all these things, they create revenue, which drives funds into the treasury. And that creates utility to the token itself. But we'll also do other things like including the token into some of the different protocols and tools that we build. Maybe you need them to do certain things in those tokens, or sorry, in those protocols. And so this, again, just creates more buying pressure and more utility towards the DOER token. The idea is we build many projects and we are partnered with many others. And there's a whole ecosystem around this DOER token, not just one utility to it. Once we start to feel confident in this token and its utility and the revenues being driven into the DAO, that is when we will aim to provide liquidity for the DOER token on a decentralized exchange. This can happen in many forms. If we have enough revenues, we can just provide the liquidity ourselves as the treasury. We could do a sort of like a campaign amongst members to all compile ETH to provide liquidity that way, right? Because you need to provide some ETH plus the DOER tokens that there can be swapped or bought and sold. You can get investment. You can get partnerships with DeFi protocols. There's lots of ways we can fund and get liquidity. And we will be discussing that and working on that, of course, as a group as we go. And that's sort of the phase 6. Once we're there, now we're sort of full on, and you're basically a full-on DAO, full-on business at that point. And so that's where the roadmap stops currently. But of course, we will be flexible and continue to build this out over time. So that's the idea. And that's how we go from valueless to valuable token. It will be a wonderful party we will hold on the day that we provide that liquidity. And we will have to all meet up somewhere in the world. Seems like it's going to have to be Portugal because that's where everyone's flocking to. Isn't that right, Yakuza? Okay, so the DOER tokenomics and distribution. So we've minted a token, and yes, it is called DOER, right? The reason we call it DOER is this word represents the type of community we have built within the Web3 Academy community. So we seek to find the doers in the space, those that want to actually do things and create value across Web3, rather than the many that just simply want to sit back and speculate on tokens. That is not what we are here for. We focus on utility and value over price and speculation. We believe that those who do follow the same ethos as us. And so, as mentioned in the beginning, this token will not have any liquidity on an open decentralized exchange, which means it will not find market, will not have a market value. The token will be valueless. But the DOER token is used as a means for the DAO to organize. It's used as a way to reward contributors with potential equity and value, and also to simply just experiment with Web3 tools. I must say, there is an opportunity or a chance that we end up never providing liquidity to this token. Maybe we end up doing something with an NFT instead, and that's how we organize and govern our DAO. And we end up deleting the tokens. We don't really know. I hope that we do provide liquidity, but we'll see. And we'll see what makes the most sense for our DAO and for the members that have been contributing. Our main goal is we want to build cool things. We want to make sure that our members are rewarded for their efforts. And so the goal of the DAO, of course, is to bring utility to this token, to drive revenues to the DAO, and then provide liquidity to bring real value to these tokens that we are all learning. However, like any business, this will take time. And it will take a shared commitment amongst the community, right? I really want people to understand here is like what we are doing is just starting a business, okay? And think about how long it typically takes for equity in a business to actually realize real value. It takes years, years and years, sometimes decades. Now, I think the cool thing about a DAO is we can sort of front or speed run that opportunity, and you don't need to wait years and decades anymore because there's so much programmability and utility with tokens, and it's so can be so liquid that you don't necessarily need to wait until a company goes public to realize your equity in it, right? So I think we can speed run this sort of this business and create liquidity and have some opportunity for the members much faster than the normal way. But I do want people to understand, like, this isn't just something that's very easy and will be done in a matter of weeks. And so let's get into some of the details of this DOER token. So we minted an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain and have since bridged 85% of those tokens over to Polygon for a low fee environment for distribution. So all this means is that bridge it across to Polygon, proof of stake blockchain, and it's basically free to do anything on that blockchain. It's not free, but it's like half a cent or quarter of a cent to do anything. And so that allows us to distribute to many, many members and to do it often without racking up a bunch of fees like we would on Ethereum. The reason we minted on Ethereum, though, is because it's more secure. And so our treasury remains on there, part of our treasury. And we leave it there for now. And then we'll kind of see where things go in the future. But the tokens are held right now in a multi-sig wallet with 8 wallet signers from various members within the DAO. You can explore the token details on-chain on Etherscan. I will not read out the address because that was very, very long. But if you just check the newsletter, which is in the show notes below, you will be able to find that. Just a quick warning, you cannot currently purchase the DOER token on any exchange. Anything showing that you can is a scam. Be careful and always double check with the token address that I recommended there. Probably scams will come out. This is how this industry works, unfortunately, but don't fall for that, okay? So below is a pie chart showcasing the distribution of tokens. And then below that is a more detailed breakdown. Thanks to our DAO members, ianboyle.eth and Apefil again for creating these graphics. Basically what this is showcasing is the distribution of these tokens. So 50% of the tokens is going into contributor rewards. So it's part of the treasury, but they are, we commit to distributing these rewards to contributors over the next 10 years. And so we've minted 100 million DOER tokens. And so the contributor rewards means 50 million DOER tokens will be distributed evenly month by month over the next 10 years. Then we have 15%, which is just locked in the community treasury. This is a long-term hold that we would use maybe after those 10 years. It doesn't necessarily have to wait that long, but it is meant for the community treasury to just hold on to and use at a later date. Then we have 15% going to the DAO core team. So these are the individuals that have helped set this up from the very beginning. There's about 10 or so, I believe. And then we also have 20%, which is distributed to the Web3 Academy founding team, which is myself, Jay, and the team from Impact Digital Marketing, which is the marketing agency that we run. That team has all put their blood, sweat, and tears into building Web3 Academy over the last, however long it's been now, over half a year, maybe 8 months or so. That's their sort of reward for all helping in that domain. And so, the one thing just to note here is the core team and the Web3 Academy founding team don't receive any tokens, any of these tokens, until liquidity is provided. When liquidity is provided, they must all the tokens are vested, and they will have sort of like a time frame of when they can release the tokens. So that way, we aren't just giving 35% of the tokens out to be dumped on immediately when we provide liquidity. So we will make sure that we do this in a smart way that benefits all of the community and all of the contributors, not just those who started things and founded it. So let's talk about contributor rewards. How can you earn these DOER tokens? So contributor rewards are connected to the bigger mission of the Web3 Academy DAO, right? Which is, again, to create resources, products, and services that support the wave of entrepreneurs, businesses, and creators moving into Web3. And so each month, Web3 Academy DAO will distribute a % of tokens to those contributing to our bigger mission. And the distribution schedule is as follows. There are 50 million DOER tokens to be distributed over 10 years, which means 416,666 tokens will be distributed per month. And we aim to distribute those per month starting August 1st, okay? And so if they are not distributed because maybe we don't have enough contributors or there just wasn't enough, we didn't know how to distribute that many, they will either go back into the treasury or we will find another way to do like a coordinate or something to vote and distribute them amongst the community. Token rewards are distributed for the following actions. And this is just kind of a high level of how to do it, but really this will change and be adaptable. So if you really want to know, I'd recommend just going into the DAO and seeing like what we're building, what we're doing. But there's participation can get you tokens. So participating in community calls and the sandbox calls, we will have quests that will help to grow Web3 Academy and the DAO itself. Sharing news inside the weekly roll-up for our podcast is also going to be something that may provide tokens. You can do that in the Discord, in the Web3 newsfeed. There's those that are actually creating content. So writing articles for the Web3 Academy newsletter, hosting these sandbox calls, creating content for the Web3 or the W3pedia tool that we talked about. And then there's obviously contributing to guilds and actually like building inside of the DAO. So taking a lead or contributing role within the guild or a project in Web3 Academy DAO, creating new projects, contributing to projects and resources, and creating new avenues for the DAO to work on, developing partnerships with the DAO, anything that's around building and furthering that mission that we have. These are all ways to earn yourself some DOER tokens, and we will be flexible on how those are distributed. But as the DAO continues to grow, the idea is to build more products and services which generate revenue to the DAO and create utility to the token itself. With any liquid token, the price fluctuates based on buy or sell pressure. If we only distribute tokens without providing a reason for outsiders to purchase or hold the tokens, the token will not fare well in holding value, and no one will be happy. So future projects and proposals in the DAO should always keep this in mind. We have a huge opportunity ahead of us. However, we need to always be thinking about attributing utility and value to the DOER token. Okay, our final section here is on the DAO organization and structure. So one of the greatest things about launching a DAO with a community is the vast skill set and experiences that we have spread across the community. Okay, we don't know exactly where this DAO is going. However, we do know that there are certain roles and guilds that we need in place regardless of what we end up doing. Okay, again, these guilds are kind of like departments. So our DAO is shaped by guilds, by projects, and DAO operators. And so I will explain each one of those to you, but if you're watching again on YouTube or you go over to the newsletter, you can see this sort of map here. And this map is from a tool called Sobel. We actually just had the founder of that on our podcast. I think he releases later this week when you'll be listening to this podcast. And thanks to Rather, a DAO member of ours, Rather Mercurial, for building this out. It's really, really cool. Basically, this image is like this sort of like mind map, and it shows it's pulling roles from the Discord, and it has actually our profile pictures of everyone who's a part of this that has roles, and you can see it broken into guilds. You can see all of the members. You can see it by the operators, the different projects. Really, really cool to kind of see this map. But here's how this works. So guilds are occupationally specialized groups that focus on education and collaboration. They help grow and train their members as well as work together with others in the DAO on different projects. So currently we have a developer guild, we have a marketing guild, and we have a community guild. So if any of those interest you, you're more than welcome to join them. They each have many people within each of those guilds, and they're doing tons of things in there. And it's really cool to see. But we expect there to be more guilds formed across a variety of other skill sets. And so if you're interested in starting up a guild, just jump into the Discord and let us know. But we're thinking there could be a writers guild, there can be content guild, there could be a design guild, a legal guild, a PR guild, a partnerships guild, and the list goes on and on and on. If you have a cool skill set that you think we need to run this DAO and to start building things, jump in, let us know, and we're happy to figure out ways to build more guilds and more talent pools that can support this DAO. Now, when we get into more specific things on actually building stuff, we call these projects. And these are functionally specialized groups that are likely to draw from multiple guilds to achieve a specific goal. Okay, so many of our projects at this point have been focused on getting the DAO up and running. So like Discord onboarding experience, that is a project that required help from the community guild and the dev guild and others, right? Launching a token, that required some help from different guilds as well, but we're increasingly about creating other value for the DAO. So this Web3, pedia project, of course, this requires developers to build. It requires marketers to market. It requires community members to brainstorm and get people involved. And so we pulled select members from each guild to help us build this. And that's really how this works. If you have a project, you start to pick and choose or ask the guilds to support you in different ways. And then we have DAO operators. Okay, so these are roles focused on supporting the healthy functioning of the DAO. These have been quite general to begin with, but will be increasingly focused and have their authority delegated from the DAO to take responsibility for certain operational functions. So some examples of these DAO operator roles are Discord manager, governance steward, and operations coordinator. So if you're good at organizing, structuring, and kind of being involved in these kind of things, you're the glue to businesses. We would love to have you in. We can always use more DAO operators to just make sure everything is functioning and working as it should. So again, if you're interested, if you're listening to this and you're not in the DAO yet, you haven't seen what's going on in there, check it out. It is really, really just an amazing experience to watch this all unfold. Remember, we're all a bunch of strangers. None of us have ever met. To be honest, a lot of us haven't even seen each other because many people are anons. We all come from different parts of the world. There are people from Europe, from Australia, from North America, from South America, from all over, from Africa, etc., from all over. So there are so many different types of people in here that come from different places that have different values and whatever. And it's just really cool that we're all working together and just building something and on a mission together, and learning from each other. And it's been this really cool thing to watch where like a business is being built out of thin air, but it's like relationships are being built, friendships are forming. There's these community events that are actually just a lot of fun outside of just being about building. It's really cool dynamic that's happening in there, and it's really just all happened in the last month. So if you haven't experienced this yet, just go in and say hi and just watch what happens. I will tell you, it's a bit chaotic, but once you get settled in and you push through the kind of noise and confusion in the beginning, you start to see the patterns and the trends and kind of the and what's going on in here, and it becomes much easier. And so you just got to get through that first couple days of craziness, and then you'll see it. And so if you're interested in contributing to the DAO, you want to join a guild, you want to start a guild, you want to start a project, join in. Just join in the Discord with the link in the show notes below. Follow the onboarding steps, and then you can either choose your guild or you can just jump over to the DAO chat and just say hi and tell us what you're all about, what you want to do. You can also just jump in any of our community calls. We have an all hands, which is on Mondays at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the only time zone really that allows for everyone in the community to join. And so this is where we try to get everyone from every guild, everyone who's involved, and we sort of just go over what's happened over the last week and where we're heading for the next week. We do record these meetings and we have notes taken that are in Notion. So there is ways to find things if you can't make it, but it is definitely a good way to get involved and get started. And so it's a great place to join. So that's all I have today on Web3 Academy DAO. We're super excited to announce this. We're just getting our socials set up. So Twitter is getting started as well. And we can start to publicly, get our name out there. And I think this is just going to be an amazing experience. And so again, this is the last thing I want to highlight is, look, we have no idea where this is going to go. One thing I want people to understand is 99% of businesses fail. Okay. And we are trying to start a business with a bunch of strangers from around the world using some token that is a brand new technology that just started, and using these DAOs that no one really knows how to do yet. And there isn't really any real fully successful ones yet. So we are in a very, very, very small percentage of the world in what we are doing. And so our expectations here, while the opportunity could be massive, there are some great stories that happened in 2020, 2021. And of course, that's going to happen again in the next bull run. And we hope to be part of that. But just understand, really what we're doing is just being on the forefront of Web3 and learning and experimenting and kind of doing this together as a group. And we'll see what happens. I'm very confident that we are going to take this to the next level and it is going to work out. I think there is some very capable members in this DAO. Myself and Jay have built multiple businesses. And so I think as long as we stick to our mission and we continue pushing forward, we are going to see some success here. And I'm so excited for that. But I just want everyone to understand, this is an experiment and we're having fun and we're going to see what happens. And so I want you to have that mindset coming in. Let's just enjoy it. Let's just have fun. We don't need to overwork. We don't need to be stressed over this. Let's just enjoy what we're doing and just sort of reflect back and be grateful. And we do like to start our meetings with gratitude and all these kind of things. So we're trying to just have a fun time in this community. And we hope that all of you will we'll kind of spread those vibes as well. As many in the DAO already say, this DAO is all about the vibes. And so we're just trying to spread good vibes. So thank you, friends, for listening to this podcast. Thank you for those who are already contributing to the DAO. And thank you to those who are going to soon be contributing to the DAO because you listen to this podcast and you rock and you're a doer too. So we invite you all and we're excited to have you all in there. I will do another update in the coming months on where this DAO is at. For those of you who don't join and just want to see what's happening from a bird's eye view, we will continue to keep you posted. But thank you, everyone, and I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful week. Thank you for listening to Web3 Academy. We hope this helps you along your Web3 journey. And if it does, please share this episode and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. By the way, if you have yet to join the Discord community, you are missing out. This is where all the magic happens. This is where we learn, where we ask questions, where we network. You want to be in there. The link to join is in the description below. And finally, a quick disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast was financial advice. Crypto and Web3 can be risky. You can literally lose it all. In fact, if you invest on account of what we say, you probably will lose it all. So don't do that. In all honesty, the point of this podcast is to remove the noise of markets and price and focus on utility and implementation anyway. So you should not take any of this as financial advice. Thank you, friends, and see you in the next one.